And 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This episode brought to you by Zenreal Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories, or just check out the free Zenreal radio at zenrealclothingco.com. Use offer code SG Podcast for 20% off select items. Okay, and we are back. Well, it was the end of Westworld. I know we talked about it 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about how we would cover it this week. So this is it. Full spoilers, all 3 seasons, Westworld review. But before we begin, quick COVID update. So Vish, looks like we're opening up. You believe it to be soon?
Like it's going to be in transitions, but yeah.
Yeah, you think? So, do you think? Because I watched the Elon. Did you finish the Elon Musk podcast?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, all right. So what they kind of like talked about is how we might have potentially, like, I don't want to say blown it out of proportion, but we were more pragmatic than might have been necessary.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense if that is true. Why it also would happen though, because it's also like a new virus. You kind of don't know everything about it yet.
Right. Totally. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah, there's no like specific way to treat it.
Yeah.
So we took like the maximum precautions. But he said this one thing on the podcast, and I was like, oh, that's actually super true. And it made me rethink UBI. So he was saying like, the idea is that if everyone gets a stimulus check, then we'll all be good. But if nobody's making the stuff, there's no stuff to be purchased. Right? So it's like my whole notion of like UBI, it might be possible in a world where there's full automation, I'm thinking, but like for the time being,
that's exactly what I was thinking. AI. If AI can make it for us, then we don't
totally, yeah. Then it's worthy of having UBI. But actually thinking about it right now, it's like, yeah, no, I actually, unless you do like UBI, but you do it more like, special, like you get a premium if you work a specific job. You know what I mean? If you choose to work, you get a premium.
Mm-hmm.
I think like, yeah, that makes sense. Because like when he said like, if nobody's making the stuff, there's nothing for you to buy. And people have this notion that there's an infinite fountain of stuff, but people are actually making that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, totally. I feel you on that one. Makes sense. But he did make another cool point. He was saying that there's a big discrepancy between people who are in the creation industry and people who are in like law and finance. So you have all these really intelligent people that are actually not making things. They're just reallocating funds, you know?
Right.
So like in finance, it's like, okay, where will the stock market go? So you make lots of money by like guessing, and then everybody wants to do that because you can make lots of money. But nobody's actually like focusing on like the building of stuff, you know?
They're creating,
Yeah, and you're just like, it's disproportionate now. So it's like,
I think I saw that. I did get to that part. It's if majority of the people are going in that way, where instead of going in the direction of creating things, then like there is a lot of potential out there using it. We're not doing anything.
Totally, and it's like, and it's weird because we can't really advance civilization as fast as we could if people were like, if you made lots of money through making stuff, then people would chase that, you know. But like if you can use your intelligence and mathematics to read the stock market, it's like, why wouldn't you do that? All you have to do is just like buy and sell, right?
Yeah.
But it's not actually a tangible thing. It's funny, like when we were going into this, you know, I guess it's only been like 8 weeks or so, but it seems like it's winding down from like at least the Canadian perspective, and it's weird because it almost came on so quickly and it's ending so quickly. You know what I mean? Because it's like it just happened, and you're in kind of in a whirlwind daze, and then you get to this point where like, okay, this is the new normal, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna open back up soon, and it's like, oh, like, okay, now I gotta think about like waking up early to commute again, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like it uh, like I don't know if people are gonna get that wrong idea that okay, just because they're saying opening up, it won't go back direct like exactly the same. It's gonna take still weeks to get back to normal,
Totally, yeah, yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like no, but like it does sound like that, right? Oh, we're gonna go back, we're gonna start opening things up, but it's like yeah, but these are like months down the line to really open up to the way that used to be before.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Like we have like packed streets and stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
that'll take some time because they're only opening up certain things and they're seeing how it what the case number or the caseload is going to be like,
Mm-hmm.
and if it increases, they would have to
Close it back
I'd
down.
go back a phase or something like that. Yeah.
Hmm. It'll be interesting to see though, like how businesses are going to weather the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Like during this time, it was very difficult to weather the storm, but also like post this, you know, are
Yeah.
like how are you going to balance out the funds that have been lost? Like you know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
it seems very unclear. Like we could just go into a recession directly after this, which is my assumption. But if they give us like stimulus packages, maybe we won't. Like I don't know, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially like
I don't.
driving down and seeing so many closed shops. It's like, wow, when you reopen, like one, can you reopen? And two, are people going to have discretionary income to like buy your
To buy.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the word, discretionary income. I remember like a couple podcasts back, I was like, what's that word where if you have like extra money, you can spend it on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what it is, discretionary income. So like when your rent and your food is paid and your entertainment, it's like, do you have enough money for that F-45 gym thing? You know what I mean? Like, cause how many people have lost their jobs, you know? Or like
Right.
have gone on like a reduced salary kind of thing,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to speculate upon. Yeah, yeah. Final thoughts on that before we shift into Westworld.
No, I mean, yeah, it'll it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah,
But I have
yeah.
like for me, I guess I've been lucky, but I haven't really had an impact in that way. I've been very busy at work, so
Right, totally. And like for you, it's like you can commute faster, so it's more of a plus on your side, you know?
at the moment, yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
funny because like even now with like the work being online, it's like you just wake up, you know, an hour before you have to log on. You know, it's
Right.
so yeah. I don't know. It just feels so lucky,
Yeah,
privileged
it's
almost. You know.
yeah, in a way, yeah. Our job sort of, yeah. It's really impacted the restaurant and retail industry. So those are the ones
Totally.
that are.
Yeah, yeah. I'm worried about that one. I'm stoked that like movie theaters will get to open back up, but at the same time, it's like
You
malls.
can't you can't even have full house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. You might have to like have a certain amount of seats in between. I don't know,
yeah.
like yeah, it's weird. I'm really interested to see like what the job landscape is going to be after this. Like what jobs will open up, you know, because like
Mm.
things are definitely shaken up at this point. So it's like are people going to be looking to hire or are people going to be looking to like do as much as they can with as few people as they can, you know?
I think I saw something like that where it's where can they reduce the do they need this many employees?
Yeah,
Can they
totally. Yeah,
reduce?
for sure.
Like, those are the things that will be yeah fully looked at. Yeah.
It like even like like especially when like companies they switch their prerogative on like what it is they're going to be buying and selling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like what service are you providing. If you change that, it makes other jobs obsolete unless you're like, okay, we're going to keep these people on and then we're going to give them different jobs within the same organization, but then you're having like a bunch of unskilled people, you know, having
Right.
jobs that you know it's like okay, I have no experience in like planning for something,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then they're like, okay, well, we need a planner, so you're gonna do it now. And it's like, but I have no education in this, you know. But then they're
Right.
like, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you shift the roles within a company. And I was
Mhm.
also listening to like more Business Wars, the podcast. I was listening to the Pepsi versus Coke one, and it's interesting when you get into like bigger businesses and how
Yeah.
much like hiring and firing there is. You know, like
Hmm.
when leadership changes and like you like it because I mean I work in like nonprofit primarily, so like it's interesting to see the differences between like what is a more altruistic kind of company, which is like nonprofits or like yoga studios, martial arts studios, and then you have like more cutthroat companies like Coca Cola, and then you can hear like, they're fired, and you're like, what, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like it's yeah,
Mhm.
different landscapes. Just fascinating to think about like how we're gonna bounce back from all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I guess we'll have more updates again next week. So.
Yeah, totally, totally. Okay, so Westworld. Um, we're gonna do it as a review. Oh, let's do our aggregately, and then we'll go season by season. Okay, so is it a watch or a pass as a whole? Because we're not scoring anymore, right? Watch or pass. So is the whole series a watch or a pass?
It's a watch.
Okay, I'll give it a watch too. I'll give it a watch. Yeah, it's definitely a watch. Let's season one, watch or pass.
Well, that's more on you watched that recently, so I would say that is probably the biggest of the season. So yeah, of course,
It's
watch.
it's a definite. It's a huge watch.
Yeah.
Season two, watch or pass.
I don't remember much of season two, only little bits.
So season two is when they're trying to get their freedom into the real world, the hosts.
Right. Yeah, it's a watch. I think I liked it.
Okay,
From what
I'm gonna agree. Watch. What about season three? What'd you think?
I wasn't as impressed from the beginning,
I
personally.
know, I know. Are you gonna pass on season three?
From me, there is some things to learn even from what it was. Um, it's difficult to say. I'll say because you know the ending. Mm, yeah, you don't really need it.
Oh, that's so funny. You're so funny. I thought you were gonna say watch. Okay, I'm in total agreement here. Pass. Season three is a pass. Okay, so why does this always happen with series? It's like is
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? Like season one was so crazy. So like season one, everything was so integrated. Like I wanted to watch season one all over again when it ended because like when you watch it linearly the first way, you get
Mhm.
totally thrown off, you know? And then
Yeah.
like when you watch it, I assume because I haven't watched it again, but like with all those types of movies, when you watch it again, you're able to piece everything together. And you're like, dude, they've been saying this the whole series. They were giving us hints. We just didn't read the hints.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like season two, it started to wane, I felt. It's like, it's okay. Like, I just want to see where this is going. So season two
Hmm.
for me felt like, where's this going? You know?
Because I thought season two was gonna be
The real
in
world?
the, but yeah, it wasn't. So
Right,
I was.
right, right.
I guess that was what this season was, and by the end of the real world wasn't really as I wasn't as impressed by it. I guess.
When you actually show the real world. But
Yeah.
then season three, going into season three, you had so many predictions about like, okay, is all the human race actually dead? Because did everyone like in that library in season one? Did they code everyone? Or did they figure a way to code this into the real world? So it's like we're in a simulation within a simulation. So there is no real. It's all just simulations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I thought that's
Yeah.
where it was gonna go. But it
Hmm.
turned out like the real world was the real world. And it's like, okay, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of left you with like no suspense or like what, like I felt there was no bait and switch. There's no like crazy change at the end of season 3. The only change was the character change, where you're like, you thought this guy was like normal, but then he's turned out to be an outlier.
Right.
But it was like a lame. It was like, I don't care about this character. He just came now, you know.
Right. But also, like, we're with the ending, it's like we're just going back to machine versus man again.
Totally. That's why I thought it would have been so cool if it was a simulation within a simulation. So it's like there is no real. You know, that would have been really cool. It's like simulations. AI has been able to create AI. So like you find out that all the people in the real world are actually just AI who created the AI known as hosts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would have been super awesome, but they did not go in that direction. And I have a prediction about why they did this. So like all through season 3, I kept waiting for that final climax of like, you know, it's the end of the world. And then even the way they showed the end of the world, it kind of felt like gimmicky. It was very Fight Club, you know, at the end of Fight Club, like they watched the towers burn.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's like they just watched the world burn. It was like, okay. It's
Actually,
lame.
I think I read that someone brought up the Fight Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the exact same. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is Fight Club.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, totally. Fight Club's an amazing movie, though. Definitely worth watching. You know what we got to do when you get back? We got to watch a movie and do more of these like movie reviews, like these old school movie reviews, and like talk about like Fight Club would be really cool to like dissect. But that's for another time. Anyways, so yeah, were you like disappointed? Oh wait, I forgot to explain why I had a prediction. So I think what they tried to do is they tried to go star-studded. So that guy is from Breaking Bad, right? His friend is Kid Cudi.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I know, right? Mind blow.
I did not. I
Yeah,
didn't realize that.
so when I saw him, I was like, dude, that's Kid Cudi. And then like Tara was like, no, I don't think so. And I had to Google it, and I was like, yep, it's Kid Cudi. So his friend, the one that got shot, is Kid Cudi. And they made that Need for Speed movie together, the Breaking Bad guy and Kid Cudi. So it's like, okay, there's politics going on here. And then you know the black dude with the blonde hair?
Blonde hair?
He was working with the Breaking Bad guy.
In the real world.
In the real world, yeah. He has like blonde hair. He had like 2 teammates and they would run missions together.
Yeah.
So you remember the black dude with blonde hair? So I thought he was from House of Lies. Oh, House of Cards. Sorry, House of Cards. I thought he was from House of Cards. I thought he was the son, right? Because it's like, oh, they kind of look the same, kind of sound the same. It wasn't the son, so I was like, okay, who is this guy? And then randomly, I chanced upon this. He's an interviewer for like a complex style show. I can't remember what one it is. Like sort of like a hype beast kind of thing, you know?
Right.
He's an interviewer, so he's a popular like online celebrity.
Right.
So it's like, okay, Westworld #1 was amazing. #2, it was like questionable, but okay. And then #3, it's like, were you banking on celebrities or did they fund your campaign? Like, how did this work? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. What do you think?
Of the show? The season?
Yeah. Well, like, do you think I'm right? Like, I wonder if that could have been it. So they're just like, okay, now that we have these like famous people in here, we're going to like have less creative control.
Could be. I don't know. I would really need to look into it as to, because some people like, if they like the show, they do want to join in, but then it's like either they're trying to raise money or like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Exactly. Yeah.
It could be different things, but like, yeah, I would need to read about it before I make assumptions, I guess. But I mean, we can make assumptions, but like to be
definitive about it, to be like, this is what happened. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
And I think that information's out there. Probably people have talked about it or something.
True. Should definitely check into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so disappointed. I was like, but it almost felt like, it's like, you know, when those movies, you know, the movie's going to be bad, so they just pump a bunch of like superstars in it, and then the movie's trash, but you're like, but superstars. You know, like for example, I haven't seen it yet, but it got bad reviews, like Charlie's Angels, right? That's
Right.
Kristen Stewart, who was in Twilight. You have the girl that was in Aladdin, and then I don't know who the other girl was. She's like a model or something. I don't know. But yeah,
I don't know.
but you know what I mean? Like certain movies have that formula. If like the script is trash, we're just gonna like fill it with a bunch of A-list celebrities, and then hope for the best. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
or like A minus because they used to be A-list celebrities, and then now they're losing their shine. So then like they get put into these amazing TV shows or like projects, and
Hmm.
then in hopes that we can garner more attention and more funding. I guess I don't really know. Like especially with that Harvey Weinstein stuff, like you don't really know what deals are being made. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
so it's like
Yeah.
when that came out, it was like okay, there's obviously politics going on here. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. What are your impressions?
I mean, I didn't. There was some things to take away, but like, is it overall? It wasn't really that important of a season. I
Totally, yeah, I agree.
didn't really feel as invested in it, kind
Yeah,
of from the beginning.
yeah, I could feel you on
Um,
that one. Oh, that's another thing. Why did it get so cheesy in the fight scenes? I was like, are you guys trying to be the Matrix right now? Like you had these like actresses and
mm,
actors because like there was some other fight scenes, but like they were doing these fight scenes that were supposed to be really cool, and they came off cheesy because they had no combat training. Like you can kind of tell that the fighting was trash,
right.
but they tried to make it like, and then it's like, how did you learn how to use the katana? For Maeve specifically, how did you learn to use the katana like right away? Is this the Matrix? Did you download like a program into your brain? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a
Well,
Westerner.
in some way, yeah, though, right? For her.
Oh yeah, true, because she's smart. But what about like Dolores too? You think same thing? She like downloaded programs,
Yeah, they never really answer that about Dolores because you
right?
could
See, it's kind of lame.
answer that. Yeah, they answer that for her because she knew how to control the programming and stuff, right?
True, yeah, yeah. Unless like Dolores learned it from the Musashi guy, maybe. Like
Yeah,
when
but
she
there's
when
no.
she becomes a copy, she like learns. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's not really explained.
Yeah, see, so many like plot holes in it.
Yeah.
But like that was the sad part because season one, it's like oh my god, the plot there was no plot holes. It's like everything was so perfectly tied together, and it's like they couldn't do it again.
Yeah, I guess I think first seasons generally like really explored a lot and
Hmm.
solved as a like wherever the plot holes are and things.
Except for Game of Thrones, that was the only thing that I can say like start to finish. I was like, oh wow.
But Game of Thrones was a book, right?
Oh right, right, right. Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
as it, it's years and years of writing.
Right, right, right. Totally, totally, totally. And it's like battle tested because like you had to sell books, right?
Yeah, and that's why it got like shittier at the end because it wasn't written yet.
Right. That makes sense, actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like Game of Thrones is an outlier because it followed a novel, whereas
Y-
Westworld, even though it started out amazing, and then they attempted to like leave years in between, it wasn't as great.
Yeah, I think find this with shows if you have a full planned out like if you plan it out for 3 seasons, you can probably make a good show out of it.
Right, right. It has
If
a
you
start and end. Like you have
yeah
a
has
right.
exactly, and you know what like where you're going to end up being or getting to, so and then you can plot out the story that way. But like
That's
if you
why
only do season by season, then yeah, you're going to have these issues.
because you have to go back and like map everything out.
Yeah.
See that's why I like anime. Like there's these like single series animes that stand the test of time forever, like Samurai Champloo, um, what's it called, Cowboy Bebop. But like when you get into like really long animes like Naruto is amazing. But then when you got into like season 10, you're like, okay, this is just really long now. You're putting a bunch of filler episodes, because the manga. Hadn't caught up yet. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with these standalones, they create like a specific 24-piece series, you know, and like
Mhm.
we're gonna map this out. It's gonna be airtight, and then that's it. It's just gonna live there, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so many things want to, you know, continue it. I was gonna say like it's interesting how certain movies they can have a great trilogy, but like
Hmm.
why for shows? But then I realized like shows it's like a bunch of movies, so you're not just watching like 3 movies, right? You're watching like 36 movies, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess because you have to keep writing, so it's like it's difficult. Yeah. Well, what shows for you stand the test of time? Let me
Mm.
guess. Battlestar.
Yeah. Even with Biostar, it
It got
was
trashy at the end.
no. I liked it. I liked the ending. No, because they knew where they needed to go. Right.
Okay,
They
yeah,
knew the point was to get to Earth. So like, how do you get there? And then you can write the stories around that. There are shitty episodes that you don't really need, or filler episodes, I guess.
yeah.
There that is in there, but they did only have 4 seasons, and that was it, right?
Right, right. Oh, okay, okay. So they were like, but did they plan out 4 seasons? Like they're like, it's just gonna be four and that's it.
Uh,
Or was it just
I
like, okay, we're just dying on the vine here. We need to wrap this sucker up.
I think they planned out something like that, but again, Battlestar is like a whole different. Like there was an original show for Battlestar like a long time ago.
Well, technically, Westworld was a movie, so you can kind of put it
I
like
guess,
that.
yeah, I guess first season was kind of like that, but I haven't even watched that movie, so
It's like 1970 or something. But yeah,
yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think we need to like. It would be cool to see a merge or like a more of like a Jeet Kundo style process towards creativity at this point.
Hmm.
Like well, you know, like take what is necessary, discard what's useful, and then add what's uniquely your own. Because like I think there's something to the Japanese style of like 24 episodes and that's it, you know.
Right.
But like you don't see that too often in like Western shows because they want to like keep the money flowing, right, in perpetuity,
Yeah.
right? So it's like let's just like for example, Simpsons. Like we're on season like 20 billion, right? But like who still watches that? Like, and you know what sucks? You can't even enjoy it as a new person because like it's such a daunting task. You know, it's like, oh, I love The Simpsons. All right, start from episode 1 and get ready
Hmm.
for hundreds of seasons. You know, it's like it's
Right.
impossible. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
as like an artistic body of work versus like a means to make money. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, that's what tends to happen. It's a business, right?
But
Even it's
I feel like that's like a more of a Western mindset. You know, like
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
right? Because like if you think about like South Park, infinite seasons as well. But like again, Japan, they know when to end it. They're like, it's good, we're fine.
Hmm.
I mean, like obviously you still have like the Naruto's and the Bleaches and like there's this One Piece one. I don't know if it's still going, but like it's supposed to be really really long as well. You know,
Right.
so there are those, but like on the whole, I think Japan's ability to entertain is much more like tighter. Yeah, it's more succinct than American style.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do you find that too, or am I just like totally?
I think it depends. Like, if you really plan out only a certain specific thing, but that's very rare, I guess. Which is not really done a lot. But um,
But that's what I mean. Like, do you think it's like a cultural mindset kind of thing? Like, it's like you know, that's just they because like another Japanese philosophy is kaizen, which is like continuous improvement. So it's like they just want the best stuff, right? So they don't care if it's like you're gonna like they're not in it to sell ads, right? Whereas like Simpsons and like South Park or Family Guy, it's like we can have so many seasons because our ad revenue is still high,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have like another? Actually, okay, let's get back to Westworld because this is a review. So, what do you like about it? Let's go for that first, and then we'll talk about not like.
What did I like about it?
Yeah, well, what's the thing that stood out to you about Westworld that was so awesome?
The whole you're talking about the whole thing in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, just the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, it was just like AI in a sense, and
True. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can deal with that. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, keep going
that
though. Yeah.
that's why I liked it a lot in the beginning. It was just AI and them fighting for freedom, and
Right, right, right,
it was,
right, right. Actually, no, no, no. In season one, it was about like what is real,
right, yeah.
and then
In
season
season,
two was about fighting for freedom.
yeah,
So like, I get, yeah, I agree with
yeah.
you.
Season one was like coming to the realization, right? Like, wait, I am different, or like I am
Or like, what does it mean to be self-aware, to be conscious in life? You
right.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
I'll
was
agree with that one. Yeah, that it was very fascinating. That's what hooked me. I was like, what does it mean to be living? You know?
right, right. And then just season three, I like it wasn't touching on those at all. It was really just um like what would she be like, and or what would happen and if when she enters the human world, right?
You know what I thought about season three? They were trying to make it like a whole battle between free will and determinism,
Yeah,
right? And it was like the computer program could predict everything about everyone, right? And
yeah.
then except for certain outliers. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, you just haven't figured out the algorithm. It just means that you're very close, but you're not there yet. If you have
Hmm.
outliers, you know.
Right.
So like it. So in that perspective, it wasn't even about free will versus determinism. You know,
Hmm.
it was about like big data controlling humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in season one, it was very much about determinism because it was like they kept bringing that up, like we can predict, you know, blah blah blah.
Hmm. Right, right, right. Yeah.
What I also found kind of lame about season three was the bad guy turned out to be an old investor of Westworld, or like they needed money for Westworld, so they sold some of the information to the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it was like a weird corporate issue that was gonna, you know,
Right.
it's like a business battle.
Yeah.
And then you totally forgot about like so many things were not like talked about, like you just kind of glanced over the bookcases of everyone in Westworld. That became like a little issue. It's not even a big issue anymore. It's like, oh yeah, we have all these recorded things of people. Never mind, that's not important. What's important is like this business war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, no.
Who is your favorite character out of the whole
Hmm.
thing?
Mm.
I'm gonna say William for me.
William.
Yeah,
Mm.
because it was cool how his arc, like he was the
Yeah.
only thing that was consistent throughout all three seasons. You know, you were kind of just watching like this person unravel in front of you or find themselves. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, but he died anyways.
Wait, what?
Uh,
He died?
William is the old guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did he die? He died in
Wait,
season
what?
three.
You didn't watch after the credits?
Uh, oh, maybe I didn't. I thought I did. Oh no, maybe I didn't. Because yeah, when it ended, I was like, "This is so trash." Turn it off. Right, right, right. Oh, I'm gonna have to go. All right, well, just spoiler alert me. What happened? William died. Oh man, that's my boy. Okay, what
Well,
happened? No, no, wait, no, no. After the credits, it was Bernard,
uh,
or was
that was the last.
that was
That
the
was the
last
last.
scene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess when the credits happened, I was so frustrated, I shut it off.
Okay, okay. Yeah. No, that was the last scene after the credits, though.
Well, which one?
Like
Bernard
two
or
scenes. Yeah, Bernard waking up.
was after the credits?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what was when did William
That
die?
yeah, but before that, William found where Hale was,
Okay.
and Hale was expecting him, but she created a version.
Oh, right.
Yep.
No, I remember that. Yeah, 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 I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
size. So the actual William died at one point.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I totally forgot about that. I guess I deleted that from my memory, or I tried to delete the whole. I was like, pass on this entire season. Yeah, he did die, right? And then like he took his place, the robot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't
Like
know.
even with that, it's like where do you expect to go in season 4, bro? Like the world's destroyed allegedly. So where do you expect to go in season 4? You know what I
hmm
mean? Like I couldn't. You remember how like Bernard went into his head because he's like, I'm gonna go and get the key that's hidden inside my head. But I'm like, but they already won. The world's over. So what do you expect to gain?
Right.
Unless they pull it back in season 4 and then it's amazing again. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they would go. Where are they just trying to make a um like a I don't know, an action type of show? Really
yeah,
not
I was thinking that. I was thinking that. It's like,
really yeah, we're really not going to focus on the philosophy, I guess, or that might be the direction it might go. I don't know. I'll still see it.
yeah, I agree with you on this one. It's funny. It's like, again, with the superstardom, it's like, are we just going towards what we believe will sell versus pushing concepts? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
again, we're talking about the whole West versus East mentality again. It's like, you're not trying to make a perfect body of art. You're like trying to sell ad space. And that's what season 3 felt to me like. It was like we're trying to sell ads. We weren't actually trying to expand people's perceptions on reality,
Mhm.
or like make them understand
Yeah.
things. It was,
Yeah. Yeah.
Did,
There. I mean, I was watching the things that they would put out after the show
okay,
on YouTube.
okay,
Uh, there was some interesting things like when well, at the end of the last episode was like what they were saying was humans are more like robots,
okay.
while while robots can evolve into anything because they could just program themselves to something,
Right, right,
right?
right, right. They have infinite
So,
ability to
so
progress. Yeah.
like they were trying to explain it like that, where technically freedom isn't there for humans, but it is there for robots.
Who said that?
One of the creators of the show.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's where they're trying to go. That like
I
like
think,
robot
yeah.
lives matter. Like, who cares about humans, kind of
No, no,
thing.
no, it's like no, it was like saying like humans don't have free will in that sense
Right, 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 right.
because
Because
robots design themselves to do whatever. They technically have free will.
they're able to actually choose and go in that direction. It's like me being like I want to fly, but I don't have the ability to fly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's more like robots are like gods, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really that message wasn't really
It didn't
kind
it
of
didn't like resonate. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, or they didn't explain it well enough
Yeah,
because
no.
because the line was so it's really dumb. It was like free will is something like Dolores was saying free will, but it's really hard. It's there, but it's really hard. Like that doesn't explain anything.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought that line was really dumb because I guess they were trying to go for that, but they didn't really explain it in a way that would make sense.
Right, yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you know what that is? That's poor writing. Poor writing
yeah,
in place of ad dollars. Did
yeah,
these people, did they become like more famous after this? Because I know the Charlotte Hale. She is in Thor,
yeah.
right? But but was she in there prior to the show or after the show? Because another thing could be that like, they read the script and they're like, oh, the script is trash, but we're going to put it in as a stepping stone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna like put in the work because it's a stepping stone to something greater. I don't know.
I don't know. I was she in season one?
Yeah, no, she's in season 2.
I don't know if she did. I'm not sure if she did the
Oh no
Thor
no no no
Ragnar.
no no. She was in season 1.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She got
she
shot.
was. No, she was in season 1 because she showed up and then they had the battle, and then they killed the
Okay,
lady. Yeah, she was in
so then
season 1. Yeah.
yeah. So she's the only one that technically got big, I would say.
Oh, after this, okay.
Yeah, after season one, because Thor Ragnarok was her one of her bigger roles, I think.
Right, right. And then she did MIB with the Thor Ragnarok guy. It's weird how like that works, eh? There's like such a rat pack within like Hollywood, you know?
Yeah,
The two Thor people, they starred side by side in MIB, you know?
yeah.
And like with Kid Cudi and the guy from Breaking Bad, like they were in
Hmm.
that movie together already. So it's like, okay. Like you're working with people you know?
Yeah, generally that's what happens.
That must
Just like if you're
suck, you know?
no,
Like,
yeah, it's not good for new people, but it's more like you're good or you can work good with this person, I guess. So they
right, yeah, totally.
can go in that direction sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be really hard to be a rising star in Hollywood, you know, trying to make it. Because, like, you have to really just get to know people. And, like,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's why, like, they say it's so fake, you know, because it's like you have to, like, appeal to the person because that person can get you your next movie role kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But outside of Hale, I don't think anyone else is. At
They were
least I don't.
all like they were all A minus actors because they all had like A list roles at one
Yeah.
point, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main girl, Dolores, she was like a child star before. She like did a bunch of movies when she was a lot younger.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I didn't realize it was her because she like obviously looks older. But then when I looked at her IMDb, I'm like, oh, she's been acting for a while. It's like she was in Across the Universe and like this movie called 13 and like they
Hmm.
weren't like top movies, but like it's interesting from that perspective too. It's like you're you have a body of work behind you, but can you keep that rolling? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your kid, can you keep that rolling into your adulthood, or are you just gonna stop? For example, like
Well, I don't think it's necessarily about stop. Sometimes just roles are not there for you.
oh okay, yeah, I feel that too. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was
That,
thinking about like the Harry Potter kids, you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe tried a bunch of movies, but it's like the that guy Ron Ron
Yeah.
Weasley, yeah, he like did
Yeah.
nothing
Well, he's done
after.
some British. He hasn't left Britain. He has done some British stuff, British shows.
Oh really? Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, that's tends to what happens. Like you fit a certain character because you did so many movies of that same person. But outside of that, it's difficult to find anything that would necessarily fit your personality, your
Right,
character.
right. You get typecast.
Yeah, yeah. That tends to happen a lot. So
Like Orlando Bloom, who became like the Archer for every movie.
yeah,
Do you ever watch I watched a couple of these like YouTube videos, but I stopped watching them. But it was like what happened to this person, and it talks about
hmm,
like their career and like what made them like blackballed in Hollywood.
right.
So it's interesting, like because you see like all these people like famous, and then all of a sudden they like drop off, you
Hmm.
know. But it's like you just pissed off the wrong person, or like yeah, it's a weird world. That's almost like it's like Black Mirror, you know, where they have those likes and then like it can affect. Remember that episode where it's like
Yeah.
your stars matter?
Right. Right. Yes. Yes. And how
Yeah,
they look at you. Yeah.
yeah. Very fascinating. Um, I heard that the Black Mirror creators they didn't want to do it again I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know if they're kind of like, oh, this is just like the wrong time to be putting out technological stuff, or like maybe a funding issue. I don't really know, or like a shooting issue. But yeah, because of the whole COVID thing, like
Oh, okay, okay.
we're all actually in Black Mirror now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is actually if anybody's checking out, like they've seen like my profile switch with the Matrix now, because I'm like, oh, we're totally in the Matrix, dude. Like with this whole stay home and like everyone's like learning how to do Zoom stuff. It's like, yeah, we're totally living digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So again, after our review, what are you gonna? Are you still gonna give it a watch? A watch rating?
uh,
I
not
put
for
it
the
I,
season.
I put it on my top 5 because I was so thrilled by season 1, but now like after this season 3, I gotta take it off. Like it's definitely not worthy of being in my top 5. Remember Sherlock, that was replaced by Westworld.
Oh yeah.
Sherlock. Oh no, I was gonna say this. How come it's weird how it always ends in a corny manner? So like Westworld was like amazing and ended corny. If you look at Game of Thrones, it ended corny too. And it's like, it's so disappointing that this is the second one that I was so excited about to have like just end in such a terrible way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess endings are always tough.
Yeah. I mean, this one didn't end technically
It's
because
not technically,
there's,
it's not
you
technically
know,
done, but
but I get what you're saying. Yeah, totally, totally. It's like, yeah. Is there one on your radar right now that you're watching that you feel is worthy, like a Westworld worthy, or no?
mm,
What
from
about
HBO.
or just
What?
anything? Like, is there like a series that you're like, this is the one?
Not yet. No.
Oh, really? But you were so thrilled about that other show,
Which one?
the one with the mask guy.
What?
He was Rorschach.
Oh, Watchmen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm, it was good.
Oh, really?
I
Eh?
just
It's another one. It's like if you get into it, it's like, oh man, it's getting poor.
no, no, no. It was good. It was good.
Okay.
From what I remember, but I don't think they're having another season. So
Okay, cool. So did it end? Like, is it like one of those one and dones?
no, it didn't seem like that.
Okay,
I
so it's
think
just it's just lost funding because it wasn't that popular.
I don't think it did well.
Wow. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe Westworld was in threat of losing its funding, and then they put all these like actors in who would like inject money, and then
That
they
could
had
be.
more
Yeah,
producer,
yeah. That's what I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
right? Like because there are all these great stories out there, but if you don't have the money to fund your project, you're kind of screwed. So
yeah.
what you do is you accept certain allowances from producers, and
Hmm.
you give up creative control, you know, in order to have your project somewhat worked on,
Yeah,
and then
I think. Yeah, it generally to it's to increase the number of audience, right? So number of viewership, but
right, totally, because they're like, oh, I liked Breaking Bad, so I'm gonna watch this,
yeah,
oh, I like Kid Cudi, I'm gonna watch this.
yeah. And I guess maybe season two they didn't get the same amount of viewership. I don't know. I have to look into that, but
No,
yeah,
it definitely didn't get the same amount of viewership because you could feel it was dying in season 2. You're like, oh, it's not as great as season 1.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I saw those kinds of comments too when after season three ended on the Twitter's sphere. It's like, oh, it's still going on. I stopped after season one. So
Oh, really? Eh? Okay,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, see, there
yeah.
you go. Okay, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, okay. It's probably a political funding issue. That's why, it happened that way. Like, it's not like a Game of Thrones thing where it's like we have to write a story, but we're not as good as, that guy who wrote,
Hmm.
what's the guy's name who wrote it? Not J.R.R. Tolkien.
No, George
Martin?
R. Martin. George Martin. I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like So it wouldn't. It's not because the story was lacking. It probably is just a funding issue.
Could
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
And what about like New Gods?
New Gods.
Yeah, remember you were watching New Gods?
Oh, the Amazon show?
Yeah, is that another one that like tanked?
These are not, I don't feel these will be publicly popular. It doesn't, they don't get that kind of level of, like, they're not a Game of Thrones level.
Right, right. I see what you're saying. Is there a Netflix show that was super? I feel like Netflix is really good at their documentaries and movies. But like, what show? I guess like House of Cards. I mean, yeah, it's House of Cards. Yeah, House of Cards. Like that was their like flagship show for Netflix.
Well, that was when they first started. That was like one of their first originals. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you name me another thing that was on Netflix that like people loved? Black Mirror, I guess. But
Stranger
that's.
Things.
Oh yeah, true. But I don't even watch that. Like, is it good? You know?
Yeah, again, the audience, it depends. Like, there are certain audiences that do like that, right? That's why it is quite popular.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
weird. It's weird when you think like anything that pushes. See, like if you push people's idea of the way they think about the world, you risk losing them because nobody likes to have their ideas challenged, right? So like I guess with Stranger Things, it's like let's just give you a fun story, you know. But like Westworld, it was really making you think, and people didn't like that, you know.
yeah, sometimes you kind of have to do both if you really want to. Like, if you do want to make a good story or make people think, but in order to bring other people in it, you need to kind of make it entertaining as well.
Right. So
If,
you're just going to be like your market is only going to be limited. You're going to limit your market if you don't make it accessible to other
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah,
Actually, you know, thinking about that, I wonder if that's why Joe Rogan got so popular because like he has such a wide variety of guests that like people will just tune in to see that specific guest. You know, whether it be like a
yeah,
doctor and you're like, okay, I don't like the doctor, I like the comedian. Okay, I don't like the comedians, I like the actors. I don't like the actors, I
yeah,
like the MMA fighters. You know, like he has different avenues from which people can pull, you know,
yeah.
their yeah. Yeah, but not again, not many shows can do that. Well, he's not really a show. He's like a talk show.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, sucks. Yeah.
yeah. they're they're far and few between where there are good shows, but
That again, that's why it's like it's so hard for me to watch a show because in order to invest, unless it's a documentary, right? But like an actual TV
yeah,
show, like fiction for me, it's so hard to watch because the story's got to be so good that you know I don't care about learning at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because like I like to watch things that like are educational, I would say, but like Westworld to me was like the entertaining value was there to keep my attention.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
but again, few and far between. Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
But I guess on the whole, to summarize, definitely check out season one. You'll have your mind blown. Season two, the samurais are probably the coolest part of that whole thing. But that was only like 2 episodes, and then season three, just take a hard pass and switch your series.
yeah. You're gonna watch something else.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Um, I'm a little sad that we can't watch like movies anymore because we're like lacking on those movie reviews. Because I was gonna say, oh, you know, is there anything coming out soon that we could review? But no,
Right.
stupid
I
COVID.
mean, I really think that they should look into, just doing those releases on either whatever Netflix or whatever platforms that they want to
Oh, those
put it out on.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them are going direct, but like the really big blockbuster ones, they're pushing it all until next year.
yeah, I know. That's what's so sad for me. I'm like, but I mean, what was really good was like Tenet is staying, so that's good.
Is it?
I think so, isn't it? I saw something like Tenet's gonna be the first blockbuster for COVID. It's gonna be like the COVID blockbuster.
I mean, I've been waiting for a long time for another Christopher Nolan movie. So if they push it another year, that's again I have to wait another year for it.
But like, could like what? All right, let's say they open up stores now, open up theaters, but there's nothing to
Yeah.
watch. You know what I mean? So it's like, so what's the point of having them open?
Even if they do open them, they can't even have them be full, right? You need to create like the seating has to be social distancing. So like
Totally, totally. But aside,
like on demand as well.
totally, totally. But aside from that, like, let's
Hmm.
say COVID is totally wiped out, and then movie theaters are open again. Why would you go to the movie theater? Like, what's gonna come out? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
There's what happened to Mulan? Remember, I was so stoked for that movie, and then I
I
think
think
it got released in China.
I don't know. It was supposed to come out. Is it supposed to come out in May?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, oh, too bad.
Or they pushed it to next year. So
Oh, that's
I'm
brutal.
pretty sure they pushed it next year.
But
I
like,
mean, a lot like Black Widow that was supposed to come out
let's
is
game
pushed to.
to when? To when? Sorry.
I'm not sure if it's going to be end of this year or next year. Like they've been like playing around with the dates. I don't think anything's really set in stone for the dates.
Okay.
So because they
It's
could change it if things do get opened up and everything's fine.
right, right. They could rush the release, etc., etc.
Yeah, they'll know like they can plan out the actual times when or the actual set up the dates for when they can release them. Right.
Right, right, right. It's it's interesting to think like how fragile our society is from this. Like just to see like, oh, no movies this year. You know, like something that's become a staple yearly, like it's just vanished because of this whole like COVID crisis. But you know, so today, oh, when we're recording this, it's a Saturday. So today they're doing the UFC fights.
Yeah, I
So
heard that.
there's an actual UFC fight going on, and I think this one's like on a like an Indian reservation or like a casino. No, it's a casino. It's in a casino that's allowing for it for some reason. Like legalities are allowing it, but one of the fighters tested positive for COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how whack is that? They did the weigh-ins yesterday, and then because they're testing everyone, right? So one of the fighters, one of the main card fighters, tested positive for COVID.
Main card.
Main card.
Oh, damn.
I know, right? That's crazy, bro. Because it's
So
like,
what's gonna happen with that fight? That's canceled, I guess.
no, I think they have like other fighters
Oh, right.
like
That's
under the wing. Like it's like
okay, right. Just in case someone.
drops out, then they'll just switch the fighter, so they'll just have to fight a
Right.
different guy. Like
Oh,
I know, but that's crazy though, right? Because it's like, so all the other fighters are probably freaking out right now. They're like, can I even fight? Like, did I come into contact with that other fighter? Oh, what do I do? You
mhm.
know?
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
that
they're all watching.
sucks.
There, I think a lot of the sports stuff is watching to see what happens with the UFC
Oh, really? Eh?
because they're the only one that's doing it, right?
Right,
And
totally, totally.
Dana White's taking the risk, and someone has to do it,
True, true, totally,
right?
totally. And it's funny because it's like, but I mean, this could actually put UFC in the biggest spotlight possible because UFC was already popular. It was like gaining in popularity, but like it wasn't
Yeah.
like a household thing, you know. But now it might be the only thing people watch, right? Because the only thing that's
And
actually
I think people. I mean, people have been just staying at home, so and there's no sports to watch, nothing. And here comes UFC. I think there will be a huge number of people watching this.
yeah, I
Just
agree, I agree. And you can create like a huge new market for them.
yeah,
Yeah, the then
and there's,
after
there's a
this,
ton of
sorry, yeah.
there's a ton of free marketing around it too, right? So
Right. Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Because like, what else are other people going to pick up on? What other sports networks are going to pick up on? You know.
yeah, yeah,
After this one, they're going to the fight island, so like purchase an island, and they're gonna fight on it.
right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, oh, I was gonna see something else. Fight Island, UFC. Yeah, I don't know. I lost that last thought, but yeah. That's crazy that he tested positive for COVID, because then it's like, it kind of like you you kind of plan for all the worst case scenarios, but then like your worst case scenario could
It did happen.
potentially, you know what I mean? Like everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a stupid idea. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. And it goes off without a hitch. People are like, oh, what a genius. But now it's like, but if this one fighter gave it to all the other fighters,
Right.
you know, then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this was the stupidest disaster. Like we all knew this wasn't, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
Fascinating.
see. I mean, people want entertainment. People. I mean, this will also get people to stay home and watch it from home, right? So,
True, too. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
but he's taking the risk. Yeah.
Yeah, solid risk. And it's already off to a bad start with that one fighter testing positive, and a main card fighter too, which is even worse because
Uh.
like all eyes are on that main card, right? So it's like, ooh,
Right. Right. Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right.
Well, we'll see
So
what happens. Hmm.
hopefully, hopefully this all gets resolved soon and we start pumping out more entertainment. Yeah, or it might just have to result to like Netflix movie reviews. Have you watched Extraction yet?
No, I
No.
haven't.
I watched the first like 20 minutes and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. But like, I got so busy, I just couldn't watch it. I'm trying to finish it today. But yeah.
Did you finish the game?
No,
Uh,
see, even there, I'm like just so busy. I'm like, it's sort of like the thing that's like really irritating. Like, I really want to do these things like from an entertainment perspective, like play the game or like
right.
watch this movie. But then like an idea will pop up in my head and I'm like, okay, I gotta go chase this idea for a bit.
Hmm.
You know, and then the day's done and you're like, oh, okay, I'll try again tomorrow.
Right. I don't
But
know. I
yeah,
I haven't felt the energy. Like I need to be in the right mindset to start
Final Fantasy
playing Final
Seven.
Fantasy. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of
I,
those things that you gotta
but
play when you're here,
I guess so. But like I want to play a game, but I don't like that's not.
like up on
Uh.
your list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, I feel
Like
you, I feel you.
for something else. And like I wanted to get the Jedi Fallen Order, but then they had a sale, but then now the sale is gone. So I'm like,
Oh,
I don't feel like buying that
yeah,
for 80
yeah,
bucks.
yeah, yeah. No, no, you don't want to pay full price right now.
Yeah. So I'll have to look at something else.
Yeah, I feel like Final Fantasy Seven is one of those things that you gotta play on your setup. You know,
Hmm.
the one you have here versus the one you got there, because it's like it's so immersive and like I feel like you're gonna spend a lot of time in that world. You know,
Right.
so like
Right.
you don't have your headphones there. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, it's a
Mm.
really good one. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's tough times. It's weird how like where people are having a hard time to like find a way to entertain themselves. You know, like what a
Right.
luxury. You know.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
All right. Till next. Oh, I actually know a final thing about positive note for COVID, but also kind of freaky. So like in my cousin's hometown in the Philippines, they everything opened up again. So they're cool with COVID. Yeah.
Okay,
But
that's good.
the only bad thing is because I was like, oh, you only had 3 cases there. And they're like, yeah, but we also don't have the equipment really to test. So it's sort of
Yeah.
like, they're like, yeah, we're good. We're good. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little sketchy, but
But
also,
you really, but also like over there, and you really can't shut down the economy for too long.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I know for sure. Because like
Like there's
they already have
no,
nothing.
yeah, and there's no government subsidies or not happening. So
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things about like international travel that I find so important, just to see how other people live, and you stop taking the way you live for granted, you know? Like with this whole like we're all at home, but like no, they actually should open up because like you said, like the subsidies just aren't going to come.
yeah,
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 rough. All right, till next week. Take it easy, Vish. This episode sponsored by ZenRealClothingCo.com. Use SG Podcast on checkout for 20% off select items, and be sure to check out the free radio playlists on Spotify. Zenreal Radio. ZenRealClothingCo.com. Take it easy, Vish.
yeah.
Peace.
Bye.